Hello, everybody. Welcome into Fantasy Pros. I'm Ryan Wormeli, joined by three of my favorite people to talk to. It's Scott Bogman, it's Chris Welsh, and it's Jake Ciely from The Athletic. Guys, we are doing a PPR mock draft. Bogman, I was just talking to you. I have done a lot of Dynasty mock drafts with you this summer. Not so much on the redraft side, so I'm very excited to be hosting this one and participating with you guys. I'm going to pause the draft here. It just started here, Bogman. There's a 30-second clock. I want to run through some stuff at the top here before we get going. Shouts to all of our listeners, by the way, from Discord who joined in on this mock. If you want to get in on a future mock draft episode and be on the show, for anybody listening, make sure you're part of our Discord community where we drop in these links all the time and are running mocks pretty constantly throughout draft season. Quick reminder for everybody that all of our 2025 consensus rankings and tiers can be found at fantasypros.com/rankings. Also, today's live PPR mock draft is done using our mock draft lobby over at fantasypros.com/draftwizard. Just like you'll see today, our multi-user drafts allow you to practice quick and fun mock drafts against both real and CPU opponents using the same easy-to-use interface as our draft simulator. Public mock drafts are now available, so head to our mock draft lobby and either join a mock draft or try our draft simulator for a lightning-fast, realistic mock draft experience based on your league settings. Sync your league today for free and try the draft simulator at fantasypros.com/mock. All right, guys. Before we dive in here, we're kind of, back half of August. We've tested out some strategies here already. Welsh, is there a particular strategy you're thinking about? I believe you're picking 10th in this mock.
The winning strategy. I plan to be the winner and be ranked the highest per usual. Now, I've been playing a little bit more with the back end of drafts. I think in an article we had on Fantasy Pros, we were doing our perfect drafts. I had laid out that, like that 5 spot. I did that a couple months ago. So I've had a lot of, and I think, the 5 spot is really nice. You're getting one of 4 or 5. Maybe you're getting a Justin Jefferson that falls or a CeeDee Lamb. I feel like I've done a lot of that. I've been slowly starting to press in a couple of those like 10, 11s just because I really like the running backs that are right around there, and I like the double tap of wide receivers. So ideally I'm looking at like, some combo of 2 great wide receivers or running back wide receiver, and I feel like that just kind of sets you up through the rest of the draft. Though there are some weird, falling valuations on players with all the rumors with like the Achane injury and stuff like that. We'll see what happens if anything funky goes on in this draft. Speaking of, we have the live ADPs that are out there, so you can see all the funky stuffs for everybody else. Not going to necessarily affect here, but maybe we can kind of help represent some of those. But we've got live ADPs available on Fantasy Pros, so make sure to go check that out as well.
Real-time ADP is an awesome new feature that we have over at Fantasy Pros. Jake, before we get started here, anything you got going on at The Athletic?
Yeah, the best article ever. The biggest mistake everybody's making in their leagues. Stop wasting your bench. It just came out a few days ago. It's getting a lot of traffic, and you can see why. So stop wasting your bench.
Definitely take that advice. All right, and Bogman, you have the first pick. Jamar Chase feels like a pretty easy one. You are, of course, a Texas fan. Are you considering Bijan? What direction are you going here with the 101? And do you like having the 101?
101 is okay by me. I like being near the front this year in the draft because I like that swing at the turn at 2-3. So, and Jamar Chase is a pretty easy pick. I am a Texas fan. I love Bijan, but with this Cincinnati team having no defense and not working anything out with Trey Hendrickson, I don't know how every game isn't 48-49 that they play this year. So I think Jamar Chase is going to have a lot of receptions, a lot of touchdowns.
Better make your pick. Do you like being this close to Jake?
No. Okay. That is not my favorite. I'll say that.
Jake, for you, is it as simple as one of Chase or Bijan gets to the 102? Are there other names you would consider there at the 102?
No, we need to resurrect that old Grey Poupon commercial and like roll down the windows and be like, Barkley? No, Bijan. So like I have no problem with taking Barkley.
Pardon me.
Yeah, it's the same tier, Gibbs, Barkley, Bijan. But I think the point being is of the 3, if you want to argue risk, and we are nitpicking between the 3. I think Bijan's the best all-around option with the least amount of risk and similar upside. But if Chase didn't go 101, yeah, that would be an instant click.
Feels like a pretty standard start so far. Jamar Chase 101, Bijan 102, Gibbs goes 3, CeeDee Lamb 4, Justin Jefferson 5, Christian McCaffrey 6. Welsh, did you think he might get down to you at the 110? He's kind of an interesting pick because the upside is like 101 level, but injury risk kind of going all over the place in the first round.
Yeah, definitely that 10 spot, the hope is. But you know what? McCaffrey has done nothing but rise all season long. There was a time when we were doing stuff where he was in the second round every single time. He has just creeped up and up because of the health. And yeah, I mean, me laying out like I wanted the running backs later, that was 100% the reason. But I'm surprised McCaffrey went ahead of Saquon Barkley. And Saquon Barkley is one pick. He's going to go right in front of me, of course. But Saquon Barkley is not gone, and I'm at the 10. And I just really wanted to have one potential theoretical focus on running back here, but it was built around McCaffrey. But he's on a rocket ship, man, and as long as there's no little scaries or anything like that, he's going to stay there. And there goes Saquon right in front
You know
of
what
me.
just happened to you, Welsh? It's this Juan Soto meme where he's just staring through the fence in the outfield. That's you. You're like, you watch that value falling and falling and falling, and then sniped right before you.
That's
And
109
it's
is about as late as I mean, I know people have been fading him with the injury risk, but like after Amon-Ra,
That's
after
too much.
Neighbors, like Neighbors has his own injury risk. Like that's 109 is pretty late for
Who
a guy that
currently
was
has an
a
injury?
league winner last
Neighbors,
year.
not.
Yeah, exactly.
Nakua.
Puka
Yeah.
goes to Welsh here. I mean, talking about injury risk, it's not necessarily always his injury. It's his quarterback. Do you feel confident in Puka as a first-round pick, Welsh? I mean, clearly you do.
Yeah, I mean, this is PPR. This is full PPR. Like, the one thing we know is he's going to get 1,200 catches in 2 weeks. Like, that's what he does. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It could be, it could be Aiden O'Connell that's out there throwing him passes. Like, he's going to get it. It could be Daniel Jones. It doesn't matter. Like, it's good. I would have loved the value, as Jake said. I was staring at Saquon Barkley falling to me to 10 because I wanted it back. Puka was too good of a value, but I also, I'm not too scared off of Achane to not take him here, and Genty and Henry are there. This is kind of what I wanted. I wanted like a back like that and then a high-end wide receiver. So I could have taken Genty and then maybe hoped one of those wide receivers would fall back, but there's dirtbags like you that are drafting in front of me taking Genty in London, so I can't have
Well,
I wanted to do London Nico as a pair, and then but DVR.
Oh,
took
see,
Nico
that's
right before me.
Worm. You get to ask all the questions all the time. I was actually going to ask you the question this time.
okay.
Was there any thought in your mind? I would have immediately, because it's full point PPR, I would have immediately quickly double tapped London Brian Thomas Jr., but you went London and Genty.
So the main reason I did Genty is because this is a mock, and I have not taken Genty really all season, and I wanted to kind of test out taking him. My favorite strategy has been doubling up the wide receiver position with the last pick in the first round. So I did strongly consider that, but I feel like I've done that before. I toyed with the idea of Brock Bowers too. Honestly, he's going to catch a ton of passes, I think, in PPR and everything. But I haven't taken Genty really at late, so I wanted to mix it up. I did strongly consider two receivers though.
I would have loved that.
Yeah,
I wish you would have done it too.
It's what I have it's what I have typically done, but like I said, it's a mock. You want to try new things, see what the team looks like. Brian Thomas does go with the next pick after I took Genty. Welsh takes Achane, then followed up his Lad McConkey, then Derrick Henry, who I could have also taken with the running back position instead of Genty. But Welsh, going back to your pick, Achane, we talked about him a little. Like there's some injury risk here and now with him, but second round just feels like a value.
Like, listen, I think there is some more. I should be a little bit more worried about that pick if I was drafting right now. So if your draft is in the next couple days when there's this ambiguous, hey, he's going to be good, but is he? And hey, we're talking about Brian Robinson. That is scary. But I just want to point out this is a full PPR. Like a full PPR, if there was no worry, I think, of Achane and the ankle and everything, he would be a first rounder. He should be at the very tippy top as a full PPR. So I'm taking on a little inherent risk. There's a part of me that's looking back and being like, I could have taken Genty, and then I could have at worst gotten A.J. Brown. Would that have been better? But a fully healthy Achane, having Puka and Achane in a full PPR with my first two picks, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's just I have taken on the risk of a quarterback that's falling apart for the wide receiver and a running back that might be falling apart. So I'm going to have to probably play it safe a little bit. But, I'm on the right tracks for PPR.
It's definitely the riskiest start that anybody has so far.
Yeah.
Looking across where Brock Bowers does finally go here at the 208. Like I said, I considered him early second. I think at a PPR, he's just going to catch so many passes. I really adore Bowers in the early second. JSN goes here at 209. Chase Brown, by the way, AJ Brown and Bucky Irving to go also. Chase Brown has officially kind of gotten into the second round here in most drafts that I'm in. He's no longer a third round pick. So now Jake's on the clock here with the 211. Who are you going to pair with Bijan?
Tyreek Hill. That's how I feel about it. I don't know if you heard my exasperated sigh. That was when
I
Smith and
did.
Jigbo went before my
Yeah.
pick, because especially in full point PPR. But hey, if Hill is anything like he was 2 years ago, even 95% of it is going to be a decent value. And the reason I did it, I actually thought about doubling into my strength of going with the running back, being able to know that Scott was only there for 2 picks and not likely to go RB. I can still get Josh Jacobs or Kyron on the way back. Because it's full point PPR, the tiebreak is going to be Jacobs.
Yeah. So Jacobs, Bijan, and Tyreek is your starting 3. Bogman, you're starting 3 so far. Jamar Chase, Jonathan Taylor, and Trey McBride. You take the other tight end. I really like Trey McBride if you can get him in the 3rd round.
Yeah, man. I love this is why I like picking early, is to get either McBride or Kittle. I want a top 3 tight end everywhere I'm drafting this season, specifically in superflex or non-superflex leagues. So, I mean, getting Trey McBride here with the first pick in the 3rd round, I felt like was a crazy deal. Bowers is kind of falling right now. There's a little question as to how much he's going to be on the field because Mayer has been playing a lot as well. I don't really buy that. I'll say that.
I want to state unequivocally for the record
Yes.
that I am not worried about that.
It's just been talked about a little bit. That's all I'm saying. But
It's
I
not-
have no worry about that. I was hoping he would fall, but I didn't expect him to fall to me. So.
Can I say the one thing? I'm with you. I still have Bowers, the top tight end. But the point being for Bowers was that I was never taking him in the 2nd round, and that's just even more reason. It's not that Mayer's playing. It's that it's the 2 tight end sense under Carroll, and similar to the days with O.J. Howard, because Bowers is such a good blocker, he's not running the routes. And that's it's enough to ding him of like, this is why you don't take him in the 2nd round, is my whole point.
Understandable. I didn't realize that you were talking about it, Jake. I had not heard about it from you. So, but
What do you mean that I was talking about? No, I'm saying like this is...
are you saying you hate Brock Bowers? Is that the news that we're breaking
Yeah,
right now?
yeah, yeah.
Jake
No,
Ciely
it's-
despises Brock Bowers. Everybody.
Well,
the
I
2nd
want to
round.
highlight the Branham is the name of the user who took Bowers. He also takes Josh Allen. Jake, what do you think about doubling up on the luxury positions of taking an early tight end and also an early quarterback?
So I'm just going to be grumpy Jake today. Hate it. I will do one or the other. I will take McBride in the 3rd. I'll take Bowers in the 3rd. I'll wait and take Kittle in the 4th. I will take a quarterback in the 3rd or the 4th if it's one of the elites, one of the elite 4. But I'll never do both. And it's not the fact that like it can't work. It's just you set yourself up to the point where you're probably going to get that quarterback value over everybody else in your league outside of 2 or 3 teams. But now the tight end has to be almost Travis Kelce because of now you sacrifice 2 rounds of running backs and wide receivers. And yes, you have an advantage, but you're so far behind the 8 ball and the other ones that you have to have those amazing seasons. It can work. I'm just never going to do both.
Welsh, you didn't have an option at one of the top 2 quarterbacks are both gone. You didn't have an option at one of the top 3 tight ends. Were you considering one of those, or were you always going to go running back?
Sure was. Absolutely was. Thank you for reminding me, Wormeli. I was looking at Lamar Jackson. I was looking at George Kittle. Kittle went right in front. Put myself in a position. I don't hate Devontae Adams, but I have Puka. Not sure I wanted my 2 top wide receivers to be from the same
Daniels
team.
is there.
Daniels is there. I was in a blender there. I was in a complete blender of issues. People might not love this. I passed Kyron and James Cook for Breece Hall, but I just want to come back to it's full PPR. And I know like people are worried about Braylon Allen and everything, but like Breece is going to be completely littered in the passing game. I mean, he's going to be put out wide. This is what he's going to be built for. This should be anywhere from 5 to 7 receptions a game. So, I mean, I think he's good for this format, but 100% just like snipe. Like, it just took away all the strategies. I would have loved to have taken Lamar Jackson like in front of you. It would have made me feel like all warm inside, and I couldn't have any of the stuff.
I would have taken one of the elite quarterbacks if they got there, and by elite I mean those top 2. I do like Daniels and Hurts, but I decided to pass on them. I would have considered one of the tight ends. They didn't get there. Kyron, I have not been taking a lot of, but I felt like at last
At
pick of the
312
3rd round,
he was 0.2 behind Achane in points per game, full
Exactly.
PPR, full send.
just
That was
too,
the easiest
too
pick
good
you've
of a
had.
value.
Well,
yeah, like not.
Okay.
Again, not a typical target, but just too great of a value there. And then I kind of decided, since I'd already taken Genty and Kyron, that I would just lean into the robust running back here with this mock and see how it turns out. And so I took James Cook. The fact that Kyron fell to the last pick of the 3rd round makes me wish I had taken Brian Thomas Jr. with that 2nd pick, because then I would have had Kyron as RB1 with 2 elite receivers. So you live and you learn. That's why we do mocks here. So I take Kyron and James Cook. Travion Henderson goes next. Early fourth for the rookie, but he's risen a ton in preseason. And then Welsh, you do take one of these tier 1 quarterbacks.
Yep, I sure did. I'm super happy with how this draft is going, guys. Everything is going well. Exactly the plan that I came in here for. Yeah, I'm not looking back and just having any resentment or things are going well. Jaden Daniels is a 4th rounder is actually good. I am rethinking that 3rd pick. Had George Kittle just been there, let's go take a look. Let's go take a look at who that awesome person was. Let's give a shout out to Lucha Libre for Kittle right in front of me. So it just threw me off. I could have had Kittle and Jaden Daniels, and everything would have been great. But things are going good, Worm.
I think Welsh has the team most likely to finish in last if things go wrong, because it's a lot of risk. But there's also a lot of upside too. You just have the very high variance team.
Do you not like me? Ryan, what happened? Do you not?
You're
being so rude today.
You just said you were thinking about taking Lamar in front of me, so of course we are antagonistic here. Let me read through some of the names that have been taken quickly. After Welsh's pick: DJ Moore, Devontae Adams, Alvin Kamara, Jalen Hurts, Cortland Sutton, Terry McLaurin, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then Jake, you took DK Metcalf.
I did, and I sniped Boggs, which I know it just feels so good. I was actually going to take Terry McLaurin if he got there, but I got taken 2 picks before that, and then Metcalf was still on the board.
Bogman, before we get to your 2 picks, I need to tell everybody about DraftKings. Get in the game. Best Ball is live at DraftKings. $15 million is on the line with real stakes and real excitement. Best Ball is the biggest fantasy contest at DraftKings. We're talking a $15 million guaranteed prize pool with 2 millionaires being crowned for 1st and 2nd place. Play season-long fantasy football the DraftKings way. With Best Ball, there's no waiver wires and no roster management. You get bigger rosters so injuries won't end your season. Just draft your team and you're set. If a shot at winning a share of $15 million isn't enough to get you excited, check this out. DraftKings is offering everyone a draft one, get one special. Your $20 entry fee scores you a bonus ticket. Download the DraftKings app and use code FANTASYPROS. That's code FANTASYPROS for all customers who enter the NFL Best Ball $15 million millionaire contest to get a bonus ticket and get a shot at being crowned one of 2 millionaires only on DraftKings. All right, Bogman, you doubled up here and you took 2 folks from the same team.
Yeah, 2 Panthers, so things are going right for me. Yeah, of course, in this spot, I was like, I have a great wide receiver no matter what. Marvin is still there, DK is still there, and Tet was still there. So Tet was the one that fell because it went Marvin, DK to Jake, and then me. And then Chuba Hubbard to me. It was between Chuba and James Conner as the last true workhorse backs left on the board. And I do think Conner is a little more injury prone, and Trey Benson is breathing down his neck. I really don't think Rico is breathing down Chuba's neck much. So I went ahead and leaned towards Chuba there.
I couldn't justify taking Teteroa McMillan with the 1st pick of the 4th round, but I knew he wasn't going to get back to me, so the thought at least did cross my mind, because I just want all of the Teteroa McMillan this year. So you double up in the Panthers. Jake, you come back in early round 5 with Calvin Ridley, who is not ranked in this area amongst wide receivers, but I think is a great pick. Because he wasn't going to get back to you, and I think he's just a great value where he's ranked this year.
Yeah, I know I already threw out my potential to be the number 1 ranked team after this, according to the consensus analysis and all that type of stuff. But the fact is Calvin Ridley should be a 5th rounder. Calvin Ridley had 120 targets of garbage last year. He had 4 red zone and 1 end zone target of garbage last year. And Cam Ward coming in, what is the one thing we've already seen is even if Ridley only catches 55% of his passes because they're big plays downfield, Cam's flinging it downfield, and he's connecting because he's great at putting it on the spot. I think you're looking at a potential, if he gets 140 targets, Calvin Ridley will be back inside the top 20, maybe even inside the top 15.
I am up here. Welsh, you took Jalen Waddle, who was the player I was eyeing, so thank you very much for that.
Best pick. Everybody loves
You know what we
my
look like,
picks.
by the way, while you're doing this? What's that game? I'm completely forgetting what it's called, where you're on the ship
Squid
and you
Game.
have those little beans. No, you're the little beans, and there's a killer. And what's that game called? Everyone's sus.
Among Us.
Among
Yeah,
Us.
that's it.
We look like Among Us characters. How did that happen? I'm wearing red. Worm is bright orange. We've got green and black. I know exactly who I'm going to kill, and at least on their screen, he's above me. But somehow we became Among Us characters
Bogman.
in this draft. Yeah.
Some of the names that went off in that 5th round, by the way: Devontae Smith, James Conner, Xavier Worthy, Jamison Williams, Joe Burrow, George Pickens, Tony Pollard. That was a good pick. Jalen Waddle to Welsh, R.J. Harvey. I took Sam Laporta. I just figured like late round 5, given what we saw his rookie season, I think that's worth it. And then Zay Flowers, who I really have not been taking a lot of, like, honestly, anywhere. I'm not that in on Flowers, but with 3 strong running backs and already a wide receiver 1 ahead of him, I didn't want to take a quarterback there, so I decided to take a bit of a floor with Zay. Welsh, you took the guy that I actually was considering. I felt like, again, it's similar to the Teteroa McMillan passing on him, where it's like, I know he's not going to get back to me, but I felt like I just couldn't get there. 2 picks later, you take Ricky Pearsall, which I think could pan out really well for you.
I'm completing my tasks. As an Among Us character, I'm completing my tasks, and the task was always to get Ricky Pearsall. I absolutely would have taken Zay Flowers had he come back. My order was Zay Flowers, it was Jalen Waddle, Zay Flowers, Ricky Pearsall, so you took the other guy. Because I went with those early running backs, this really worked out for me to get these guys. So guess what? We're back. We're back to loving this team. We got the elite quarterback. We got 2 high-end PPR running backs, 3 wide receivers. Ricky Pearsall, by the way, is still misranked in so many spots as the top guy. So, like, I don't know if the grades will love me here, but task complete.
That's a very good point that you bring up, Welsh, about the grades, because there are some picks that I've considered making where it's like, well, it's not going to grade well, but if I was in a real draft and playing out a season, this is the guy I would want to make sure I get, knowing he wouldn't come back to me. So it's a little different way to think about it. I think it's a. I'll give you some credit here because I was harsh on you early. You pulled it back. You brought us back in. Other picks being made in the 6th round: Rashee Rice went, Chris Olave, DeAndre Swift, Travis Hunter, David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco. I would have maybe considered him actually at my turn if I didn't have 3 running backs already. I think Pacheco's a really good value. Jerry Jeudy, Emeka Egbuka, who another one I would have loved to have come back to me, didn't expect it. Jake, were you considering Egbuka, or because you did go receiver, or were you always going to go with Rome?
I was going to go with Rome if he made it to me. I think he needs to have his name in the conversation of the Pickens and Jamison Williams and Devontae Smiths and Jalen Waddles of the world. If we believe in Caleb Williams, we believe in Ben Johnson. He's going to throw for 4,000-plus yards. Hate to tell everybody, but DJ Moore is not catching 3,000 of those yards. I'm just saying.
How about 2,000?
Okay. Deal.
Bogman, walk us through your picks here at the turn.
Yeah, I went with Jacoby Myers. I just think he's such a solid floor, specifically in PPR. I do have a little risk with McMillan, and then my next pick was Caleb Johnson. Not a big pass catcher in a PPR league, but I do believe he's going to have a lot of touchdowns and a lot of carries. There's over 300 touches gone with Najee Harris. No question.
Okay, fine. How do you like your gelato? Straight up. So I just did a little short form with Welsh. We were talking about the Steelers, and I thought Jaylen Warren was a nice post-type sleeper, mostly because this nonsense of using Kenneth Gainwell. Are you worried at all? Now, to be clear, Caleb Johnson's going to take the job. It just might take a few weeks. Are you worried that it could be a slow start and people get too quickly disappointed?
I am. Yes, I very much am. And because we did this to Chase Brown last year, right? Like, he didn't start the year as the guy. He was getting nothing for the first 3 weeks. He got cut in a lot of leagues. That could happen to Caleb Johnson as well. I don't expect it to. I think this is all kind of veteran positioning, whatever you want to say, to kind of motivate your players. But it could be annoying initially. Kenneth Gainwell's not a 0. He's definitely not. So Jaylen Warren will lead the first month or so, but I think once you get into those grinder months, it's going to be a lot of Caleb.
Shout out to Sonos for supporting today's show, whether it's a Monday night where I'm sitting home watching the football games, or I'm flipping back and forth between all the games on Sunday, or even college football on Saturdays. If I want to feel like I'm in the game, there's only one way to do it, and that's the sound of Sonos. Whether it is on the go with the headphones or the home theater experience, nothing takes you into the event live, feeling like you're in the stadium like Sonos. And I'm telling you right now, if you care about sound, you care about the experience of your sports, of your movies, Sonos is for you. It delivers incredible studio quality, and it makes it easy to really enjoy and enhance all of your entertainment levels. Take them to the next level. The home theater system I've got in my house, let me tell you something. It is next level. It's easy to set up. Sometimes those things are complicated. Sonos is not. They make it easy to up your experience level. And I'm telling you right now, the Sonos soundbar, way better than the old one I used to have. So much better. The Ace headphones too. You want to talk about quality. You want to talk about battery life. Up to 30 hours of battery. You get 3 hours of playback with a 3-minute charge. That's incredible. So So right now, I want you to visit Sonos.com to learn more and explore the full Sonos lineup, because if you're serious about great sound for football, for podcasts, for music, whatever it might be, you've got to check out Sonos. Again, visit Sonos.com to learn more and explore the full lineup: headphones, sound bars, home theater systems. Sonos has you covered. And now, back to the action.
Some of the other picks
and
going on.
grinders, hoagies and grinders, navy
Navy
beans, navy
beans.
beans.
Meatball sandwich, a sloppy Joe.
Is this too old for
No one's gonna get that
for
right,
Worm?
exactly.
Worm's the
I
only
did
one
not
that-
get the reference. I'm laughing because you guys
Wow.
are being silly. I have no idea what you're talking
Can you
about.
wait?
Ooh.
Can you just take a guess? Like, take a guess.
Guess
what
who
you
it
think
is?
that could be.
What were I hardly was even following what you were
Hoagies and
saying.
grinders, hoagies and grinders.
Navy beans, navy beans.
Meatball sandwich.
Is it? I mean, is it,
Chalamet.
it's like a sub shop or something? Is it like
Yes,
a
you got it.
like a Wawa?
That's
Got
it.
it.
Okay.
Nailed it.
100%.
Talk about a hole in one. Does that give you? Does that give you a nice hint?
No.
It's
Adam Sandler. Come on.
One of his
Okay.
originals.
Oh, gotcha. I'm
He was
sorry,
Lonely
it was
Island
I
before
was-
Lonely
I was-
Island was Lonely Island.
I was born in the 90s. It wasn't exactly like I
Oh
was watching
my
that on
god.
TV.
Get off my
Look at this
lawn.
guy age shaming us here. My
Like, do you
God.
know what's on the screen of this? Like, the reason it's a Jurassic Park arcade screen is because it says it's in the 80s.
Did you ever play like an arcade machine?
Yeah, I've like been to an arcade before. That's
Nostalgic though, not like a real one.
No. He means the one with the video games, not the arcade, which is all those fancy stores inside
No,
the middle
I've-
of the mall
I've-
with the outside
I-
area.
Yeah, I've played like pinball machines before, and
I mean,
I'm
it
just
is
trying to justify
overrated.
myself.
Like
Yeah.
touching a sticky arcade stick because kids have been spilling their drinks on it all day. I mean, that,
Especially how
it-
you're saying it.
Hey,
it
before we
was
get back to the picks,
very
Testament
nostalgic, but
won an NBA Jam 2-on-2 with a good friend Dane Martinez of ours, when my stick was broken and wouldn't run to the right, and we still won.
Wow.
Kaiser tricks.
Let me catch up on some picks
Yes,
here,
please.
from that nonsense. In round 7, we had T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Jalen Warren, Stephon Diggs, Khalil Shakir, Travis Kelce, Jordan Addison, Jordan Mason, who I was considering Welsh, Juwan Jennings, Matthew Golden. I took Golden there. Another player who I don't have a lot of. Honestly, that's what I'm doing a lot of in this mock, is taking players that I like but haven't gotten a lot of. I also took Mark Andrews. Now, I know I already had Laporta, but I think that Andrews just in the 8th round is too good of a value. There weren't other players that I loved. And I actually have really come around on Andrews. He was catching a ton of touchdowns once he got healthy, like coming back from that car accident in the second half of last season. Isaiah Likely is injured. I think Andrews is a great pick there.
would you have skipped Laporta knowing that Andrews is going to be available
Yes.
later? Okay.
Yes, I didn't think Andrews would get that far back to me, which is why I took Laporta
fair.
where I did. I would have skipped him if I thought he would. But there wasn't that many tight ends taken. So, again, you live and you learn. Doubling up on tight ends, though, Evan Ingram goes right after Andrews. And then Welsh, you take somebody who is coming off PUP here, but is still not going to be available at the start of the season.
Did you take 2 tight ends?
I do have 2 tight ends.
That just
yeah.
hit. That just
Like,
hit.
I was just trying to look, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I already grilled him for it, but I was pretty nice about it. So
Oh, my
Listen,
God.
have
listen.
to worry about
If I'm not one of these people who says, "Oh, if you can only take one of these positions." Now, if I had McBride or Bowers, yes, I would not have taken a second tight end. There's some risk with Laporta, and I think Andrews is a very good value in round 8. And also, again, I didn't love a lot of the other options. It would just be a lot of taking swings on guys anyway. So I'm happy to get 2 really good tight ends, both of who I think have upside, and I think I'm doubling my chances of one of them really hitting.
I would
and
have
being
loved to
in
have
the league
had
this
one.
year.
Yeah, no, it would have been great. I'd love to have one.
I
but
hate the
just-
pick. I hate the pick. I understand the reasoning, and I respect not saying trade piece in the future. That should never be one
that
of the
is
reasons you
kind of-
take a player.
That's-
where it was going. On my pick, what you're mentioning, we just
Yeah.
did a video. Jake mentioned earlier that we did a video you guys can check out that this guy kind of makes it. But I took Chris Godwin. Yes, there's some inherent risk, but I want to come back to, this is about a team construction thing and something we talked about. I went heavy running back with a quarterback at the top. I need to make good on the wide receivers, and he's my 4th wide receiver, while also taking Jordan Mason, who can play flex. So I'm putting myself in a position where Godwin can end up being a big, massive starter for me over a couple weeks. And I don't need him right away, even though he is set at flex. So this is the ideal situation for a guy like Godwin, and why the upside makes a ton of sense is because I can eat a couple of those weeks. What do you guys?
I want to highlight quickly on the double tight end thing. Branham, who took Brock Bowers, just took David Njoku. That is not a move I would make. Again, if I had one of those elite guys, then I'm like much more staunchly against taking the second one. Some of the other names going off here: Travis Etienne, Zach Charbonnet, Josh Downs, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Javonte Williams, who I do think is a pretty good pick in the 8th, and then Jake, you took Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I clearly got Boggs, but hey, to be fair, Boggs got me back at 901, so we'll put it that way. Like Deebo Samuel, like whether or not McLaurin's there, like I just don't think we're giving him enough respect for the fact that I bring it up so many times on these shows. 200 targets went to people not including Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz last year, and those are only wide receivers, not even including the backfield. 200 targets to a bunch of dudes, and now you have Deebo Samuel coming, who, by the way, breaking news, I don't know if anybody's watched those games, he's not fat. And he looks fine.
He looks so fast.
Good. So Deebo Samuel at this point is a tremendous value. But, yes, he got me back with his teammate at 901.
I almost took Deebo instead of Godwin, by the way. Those are the two I was kind of going back and forth about.
Bogman, you are the one who pulls the trigger here on Bill with the 901. Obviously, I'm referring to Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Feels like a value, honestly, based on the way the hype has been going.
Give him the Dan Quinn news. Because loop that in, because I'm curious your thoughts.
Oh, yeah. We actually, before the show started, we were looking, and it sounds like Dan Quinn was asked about the goal line work, and Chris Rodriguez was mentioned a bunch of times, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, or Bill Krosky-Merritt, was not mentioned at all. So, but this is a PPR league, and I think he's going to catch a lot of passes at this point. I think the value is good, and obviously Jake got me. I was very upset because I had my sight set on Deebo. I was worried about Welsh taking him. He took Chris Godwin, so I was like, maybe he'll fall, but he was top of the board. Nobody else took him, and then you took him one pick in front of me. So that did chap me a little bit. I went with my boy Keon Coleman, who I still really like to catch a lot more balls this year, and he doesn't need to catch a lot to be very productive. So Keon Coleman and then Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was
I'm going to get sniped. I can
the
feel
best
it.
pick
I'm
here.
one pick away.
Some other picks.
All I want.
Michael
Who do you want,
Pittman,
Welsh?
Cooper Kupp, Joe Mixon.
It was not
Not
Ramondre, I
sniped,
know
okay.
that.
Tyler Warren goes. Brian Robinson
Kraft.
possibly going to get traded. Welsh gets his guy who is Tucker Kraft here, so another tight end off the board. Bo Nix goes. I was definitely Bo Nix late 9th. Like I'm waiting on QB, but
I was just about to say the entire
pretty
suggested
darn
board
good.
is quarterbacks.
I know, and I'm gonna pass more because again, in a 1 QB league, if I'm not getting an elite guy, I'm happy to take whoever is like the 15th guy off the board. So it's a 3 receiver league and PPR. I think I'm gonna double up on receiver here. I'm gonna take an upside swing on Cedric Tillman, who I think has really strong breakout potential here, especially for as long as Joe Flacco is quarterbacking the Browns. I want to take another receiver. I'm looking, just double checking. Are there any running backs I want? Maybe actually.
I took Tucker Kraft, by the way, because I was very worried that Worm was going to do the very illustrious 3 tight end stack. So I had to make sure to get Tucker Kraft
You didn't have to
before.
worry about that. I will
I like
take
to
another
fill my
running
bench
back,
before my
actually.
roster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to go with Tank Bigsby here. Just getting a guy who could be a starter for what I think will be an improved offense this year in the 10th round as my 4th running back. I'm even though I'm generally not like over the moon about this backfield, I'm comfortable taking Tank there at this point in the draft. Quinshon Judkins goes next. Like I just kind of want nothing to do with Judkins. Like
Still not
I
with
just,
the team.
I want to let somebody else take that risk. Yeah, he's not even with the team yet, let alone the off-field stuff. Like I will just not be the one riding that roller coaster. Well, who are you eyeing here?
Well, I was going to take another guy, but I think like having the running backs that I do, it just makes so much sense to take Cam Scatterboo as
I
a
consider
4th running
Scatterboo,
back
yeah.
here. If you get that reference, Worm, just because
but-
second half of the year he could be a starter for that team. I know they love Tyrone Tracy. There was another guy I had my sights on the entire time, but I kind of pivoted there because so the projections aren't going to love that I took Scatterboo over the player I would have taken. But that's like, this is coming back to what you were saying, like, will the system love versus what's the smart play? Scatterboo playing for the second half of the season. I've got Mason as a 3rd running back. Scatterboo's a 4, who the second half could be a starter for the Giants. That's not wasting your bench, Jake Ciely. That is optimizing your bench.
In fantasy sports, flexibility is everything, especially when you're managing injuries, bye weeks, or tough matchups. Your finances deserve the same level of control, and that's exactly what Klarna delivers. Klarna is your smarter, everyday spending partner. Inside the app, you can track purchases, compare prices, find deals, earn cash back, and choose to pay now or later with no interest when payments are made on time. It's the kind of tool that helps you stretch your money further and make every purchase count. This isn't about spending more, it's about spending wisely. Klarna fits seamlessly into how you already shop, whether you're picking up groceries, upgrading tech, or even just keeping an eye on your budget. Klarna gives you the financial flexibility to shop smart and stay in control, just like a good roster move. Download the Klarna app or head to Klarna.com to learn more. CA resident loans made or arranged pursuant to a California finance law license, NMLS number 1353190. Klarna balance account required. Klarna may get a commission. Limitations, terms, and conditions apply. I wish that Erickson was on this episode so I could get more like SpongeBob references that I would be on board with, as opposed to you guys all. I'm not going to say how old you guys are, but, you know.
Do we need to throw out some Lulu
references.
Wumba or whatever that show is that designed for kids to not look away? What the heck is the name of that show?
Lulu Wumba.
I don't know, whatever it
one,
was. it's the go look at it. It's the one where they actually had kids watch two different TVs, and every time they looked away, they cut that scene from the
really?
Yeah, to make sure kids stayed
interesting.
paying
Is it like
attention.
Labubus?
Wow.
Oh.
No,
Anybody?
It's
Labubu? That's a good reference.
Cocoa
Something
Melon
like
or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Whatever.
one, Cocoa Melon. Is that
Yeah.
the, or is it Lululemon? No, that's the clothing.
I don't know. I have three nephews who definitely watch TV, but I couldn't tell you what the shows are themselves. Dak Prescott goes here in the 10th round. I think that's a great late round pick, honestly.
Yeah.
I probably would have taken him if he got back to me. I think Dak is an awesome late round QB this year. We're into the round where folks are like kind of into their benches for the most part. You know, like Braylon Allen is gone, Trey Benson, Jaden Higgins, good pick here. Some of the elder guys too: Christian Kirk, Austin Eckler. Jake, you take Demario Douglas here. By the way, are there any players or any teams, I should say, that you guys think are doing a particularly good job? Like besides your own, are there any rosters so far that you guys are really impressed with anybody's build? Whoever you see, you can shout it out.
Besides one?
Not the guy on
Besides your own.
not the guy on the other end. That's for sure.
There's some jabroni who took 2 tight ends already.
I think Bunting has got a pretty good squad he's putting together.
Yeah, Bunting, who just took Dak, like I mentioned, I think he's doing good. And pairing Dak with CeeDee Lamb, of course.
I like whoever started Nico Collins, Brian Thomas, Hampton, Henderson, Harvey, Rice. You can wait on the upside. Jennings, you can
DVR.
wait. It gets a little,
Yeah.
it gets dicey at wide receiver, but those running backs all catch passes, which is good.
Honestly, I really like that too, because even if it's dicey at the depth of receiver, they have an elite 2, and he pairs Evan Ingram with Bo Nix in the 8th and 9th round. So I'm with you. I think he's having a great draft too. Bogman, you take Nick Chubb and Wan'Dale Robinson with your 2 picks here.
I wanted Wan'Dale so bad. I'm so mad at myself. I almost passed
Why?
up Scatterboo for Wan'Dale. Full PPR.
So
I
you
don't
can
care if he has
get wide
400
receiver
yards.
40 on 150 targets. Cool.
Yeah, 95 catches in full PPR. I'll take that.
As a 5th wide receiver, it's not bad,
As a
right?
5th wideout.
Yeah, and he in the preseason, it's just been mentioned that he's been playing a little bit more outside, so he might be on the field a bit more. And if you become one of,
He'll
Russell
never get open?
Wilson, yeah. Well, listen, on the field, I'm just looking for volume, Jake. I know you hate him, but I'm just looking for some volume.
I'm just gonna say this. Throwing out the players who didn't at least play half the season, and you can tell that I still love to hate on the Giants, so this is why I know this off the top of my head. He was still in full point PPR. He was still only wide receiver 45 on 140 targets. Like, how does it get better? Is my question.
Well, I don't know that it doesn't have to get better, but if it stays
Okay,
close to the same,
and that's fair. I'll give you that then.
Yeah, if it stays close to the same, I'm getting a good value here.
Okay,
Do I
cool.
expect it to? No, but we've seen it happen before, and this is, I believe, which wide receiver for this is me? Is it? This is my 4th, 5th. That's my 5th wide receiver. I've got Chase,
Okay, totally cool.
McMillan,
Totally
Jacoby, Keon Coleman, and Wan'Dale. So, and I needed a little more reception upside after taking Keon Coleman.
Okay.
I'm up here. I took another receiver in Marvin Mims. So I'm trying to get some of these high upside, like potential breakouts like Tillman and Mims. I think I will find, I mean, there's so many quarterbacks still available. Like, I don't really want to wait till my final pick to take them. Because I know they're going to start going here. So I think I'm just going to take the guy who's been really my favorite the whole year, and that's Drake May, just like as a pure upside. Like, I think there's a world. I'm not saying it's likely, but I think there's a world where he's a tier 1 quarterback this year. That's how strongly I believe in him and the rushing ability, the floor, and the ceiling that provides. So getting him in the 12th round, I'm very, very comfortable having waited on quarterback there.
If he runs 700-800 yards, runs 6, 7, 8 touchdowns on top of that, he's going to be inside the top 10, just even throwing 2,800 yards and 20 touchdowns. It's not going to take anything for him to get there with that kind of rushing upside.
Yeah. He's my single favorite quarterback pick you can make outside of the elite guys here. Justin Fields goes right after. Obviously, there's upside rushing with him as well. Similar argument to be made. Welsh, you do not go with a young guy. You go with an elder statesman here.
Yep, an elder statesman who knows exactly who Adam Sandler is in Saturday
I was going to say, he knows all the references you guys have been throwing
He
out.
knows them. He's with it. Yeah, so I took, first, not him, but I took Rashid Shaheed, and then I took Keenan Allen, double tap on the receivers. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue, like, the one thing you want to do is you want to play, like, massive upside. But also just, like, again, coming back to, and I've been harping on it, like, in full PPR, like, guys that are going to just get some volume. Yes, you may be lacking a little bit in, like, whether it's a touchdown or yard department, but if Keenan Allen gets 5 or 6 catches a game, like I've got like a floor of points. So I think he's a floor. And the other reason behind why I like taking Shaheed for the big play possibility and Keenan Allen is it's just a little bit more protection, because my upside play is Chris Godwin. That's mine. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to take the rookie. Mine is Chris Godwin, and if I can weather the storm for 4 weeks, I'm getting a potential number 1 wide receiver back who I got as my wide receiver 4. So I'm just figuring out the players I can kind of weather the storm. I've got great depth at running back, so I'm pretty happy with it. There's just, there's a clear delineation between, like, here's the little handful of players with the really big upside, here's some floor players, and what fits best for your strategy.
Bogman, you finally take a quarterback. You take 2 of them, a couple of second-year players.
Yeah, I went and doubled up on Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy here. And, waiting to take a quarterback can be costly. I have messed this up in multiple mocks. Welsh has seen me do it, but I think I did it pretty well here. Waiting. I didn't wait till the very, very end to take a quarterback where a lot of people are starting to take a second just in case, stuff like that. I went ahead and I took double upside with Caleb and J.J. McCarthy. I think they're both very good options, and now I can kind of flip back and forth, and if one doesn't make it, hopefully the other one does.
Kyle Pitts, Jake. I have no comment. 13th round, obviously, like, it's, certainly later than
for those of you that are
recent
listening on the
years,
podcast, Jake is putting on clown makeup right now.
Clown, yeah. I mean, like, it's going back to the well, but at the same time, it's also not, because like the downside is clearly baked in. You're getting him in the 13th round.
You're getting him in 13th round almost free. You're getting somebody that, we've made excuses for him now 3 times in a row, 3 seasons in a row since his rookie year. But even before the Mooney situation, he had a chance to be the number 2 for Michael Penix. And if Michael Penix is going to be like Matthew Stafford and throw for 4,000 yards plus and get all this excitement about his arm, people are going to have to benefit. And now we get reports from Raheem Morris, and he's like, yeah, we hope to have Mooney this year. What the hell is this year? Seriously? So how are we not in on a Kyle? If I miss in the 13th round on Kyle Pitts and then I have to go chase Brenton Strange, or Kincaid's still out there because he's getting split all the time. Actually, Kincaid went right after my pick. But there's other options too. Like, you could look at Okonkwo maybe getting in the mix if he's the answer as the number 2 as nobody steps up for the Titans, even though I don't believe that's going to happen. Hunter Henry might be the most productive in a PPR stance for the entire crew outside of the Patriots of Demario Douglas. So there's options if it doesn't work, but I'm going to take the chance at this point for somebody with top 5 upside, even if he busts yet again.
I will tell you this. If he had gotten back to me for the bit, I would have taken Pitts as my 3rd tight end in this draft.
Two things.
Pretty great.
Two things. Number one, that sounded like the guy that sends you the trade offer and gives you a whole paragraph right before he sent it to you, right?
This is why you should say, should I have included 4 players for 1?
Yeah. Also, I just drafted Kyle Pitts in a real draft, so I am kidding. Of course, Jake. I think all of these points that you made are valid, but it is, people are mad at Kyle Pitts. It's not going away anytime soon, unless he puts together a great year.
Hey, should I start writing the 2026 version of why you should give Kyle Pitts one more chance?
One more chance.
Just have it in the folder ready to go.
Yeah.
Talking about some running back uncertainty in Miami, I'll take Ollie Gordon here.
How did
these are my
Gordon
last
get
two
that
picks.
far?
Yeah, he was in my queue. That's a good pick.
And then because I have Drake May and there is some uncertainty, I will double up at quarterback. I don't like Jared Goff this year. I mean, again, there's so many good. This is the last round. And Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. I like Michael Penix. I could take Penix and pair him up with London, but I'm gonna. Man, I really like Stroud, Lawrence, and Love all this late. I think I'll go ahead and just take Love, who I think is going to throw a lot more this year if he's not dealing with multiple injuries the way he did last year. And I'm just really a big believer in that offense in general. So I'm very happy in the 12th and 14th rounds to have Drake May and Jordan Love and have those be my two quarterbacks. I'm very comfortable with that. I wanted to point out, not to throw him under the bus, but Branham took Justin Herbert. He has Brock Bowers and Josh Allen, yet he took a second tight end and a second quarterback. That's an approach that I don't love as much because you're never starting Justin Herbert over Josh Allen. Like it feels like a waste of a bench. Exactly. So
because
so
you
not
are
to throw him under
never
the bus, but
you don't if you draft elites, and this is only the top 4 quarterbacks, maybe top 5 with Burrow. Actually, yeah, I would include Burrow, and then top 3 tight ends. Do not draft a second one because you are never benching that person. Like your bye, okay, cool. Go pick up somebody when the bye rolls around. And 100%. For the people that are like, well, what if they get hurt? You're screwed either way. You drafted the elite for the advantage. If they get hurt, it's not like you're replicating that. So people act like the 1 time out of 10, actually 50, like Baker Mayfield last year that it happened. You're not guaranteeing that your backup plan is going to be Baker Mayfield, like that type of production.
Make sure you never miss out on your guys in your upcoming draft with Draft Assistant. Draft Assistant connects directly to your draft and provides both real-time pick suggestions and estimations on which players might get taken before your next pick. Draft Assistant fully integrates your customized cheat sheets and suggests picks based on your rankings, team build, ADP, and other factors, allowing it to highlight your must-have targets before you get sniped. Dominate your draft in real time without the guesswork with Draft Assistant at fantasypros.com/assistant or on the Fantasy Pros app. Try it for free during your draft by claiming your 3-day trial of Fantasy Pros Premium at fantasypros.com/premium. Now, Welsh, you did, in the draft wrapping up here, you did double up at quarterback despite taking an elite guy. Do you feel like you wasted a bench spot?
The thing I thought about doing was going like Will Shipley because the pick before that, I took Isaac Guerendo. Like, how does the McCaffrey owner not take Guerendo? I'm not sure why they did that, so I jumped on it. I kind of thought about taking Will Shipley in the same respect of like the Saquon Barkley thing. I didn't love the depth that was there, and I got to tell you, I frankly thought that Jared Goff was just like such a tier above the quarterbacks that were left, even though I had Daniels, that instead, had you had taken Goff, I would have just been like, oh, I'm just going to, I'll play the waiver wire if I ever need a bye week thing. But I feel that Goff is just steps above even. I think you took Love, Cam Ward, Penix that are out there. So in that situation, jumped on it, but I'd gotten sniped. I wanted Kyle Williams around before. So a couple of the pieces that I really, really liked had went, but Guerendo and Goff, to finish it out.
Before we analyze the draft here for a couple of minutes and get out of here, I want to let everybody know about our A.J. Brown helmet giveaway. This month, if you want a chance to win a signed A.J. Brown Eagles Salute to Service helmet for free, courtesy of our friends at pristineauction.com, all you have to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now, drop a comment below on any video, and that is it. We will be announcing a winner right here on the channel, so make sure to turn on those notifications so you can know when new videos are up and to claim your prize. Guys, let's check out how we did. One of the cool things I like about doing mock drafts with Fantasy Pros is you can really get into the nitty-gritty with the analysis. You can see projected standings, positional ranks, expert opinions, steals and reaches, pick analysis, team strengths, all that fun stuff. Looking at how we did, Jake Ciely is projected to finish 3rd. Scott Bogman projected to finish 7th. Welsh projected to finish 11th. We don't need to say where I'm projected to finish.
Wait.
Under
I
Welsh.
think there was somebody that said I would be the worst. I'm the second worst. But
you're
the
worst.
worst.
Go poorly. If things go poorly, you would be last place.
You're the worst.
Yeah, things go normal. Worm is in last place.
Bunting coming in first, which we kind of clocked during that draft that he was having a really excellent draft. So I'm not surprised to see that projection from here. Looking at some expert opinions on mine, Matt Harmon really likes my draft. Brandon Funston likes my draft. Your colleague there, Jake. So just those are some of the guys that stand out here that liked my draft. Looking at the expert opinions, I got a C-, by the way, which I think is actually a pretty fair grade. I mean, you try some stuff on mocks. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't regret trying something new. I will say, and I want to ask you guys all this. As far as like a biggest regret, for me, it's not actually the double tight end. It's something that led to that happening. I do regret taking Genty. I wish I had taken Brian Thomas Jr. because if I had, then at that Sam Laporta spot, I would have been comfortable taking a third running back. I really liked Pacheco there. I would have done that instead of Laporta. And then I would have had just the one tight end later with Andrews. So kind of a cascading effect there. You see the domino of like one pick then affects what you did at this spot and then what you did at the next one. So I do regret taking Genty. I'm happy I tried it out, but I wish I had stuck to my guns and doubled up on receiver.
Does it show you, because one of the things on the insights that's really cool is they say what if. Does your what if give you that scenario? Is that what it lays? Because it'll say like on mine, it says what if I had drafted Devontae Adams at 4-3 and not taken Jaden Daniels, I'd have scored 50 points higher, which would have put me around 8th place, but I would have had 2 wide receivers on the same team. Does your what if happen to highlight the Sam Laporta double tight end thing?
It does highlight. It says if I had taken DeAndre Swift instead of Laporta, then I would be about 44 points higher.
Okay.
Now that doesn't necessarily take into consideration the fact that I already had 3 running backs, but another one of my what if picks is if I had gone Brian Thomas Jr. instead of Genty, and then later on I could have taken Travis Etienne. It suggests instead of Matthew Golden, some options like that would have also moved me up. Would have moved me up to at least higher than Welsh.
Gave you multiple what ifs.
Up into
I've never
up into
seen
like,
that worm.
I'm sorry. You said the what if. Yes, the what if is looking at DeAndre Swift. If you go to the pick analysis, though, it gives you a bunch of different how it would have affected your score. I'm glad you called that out. It's good for anybody who's looking at the analysis for the first time. The what if is just one, but if you click over to the pick analysis tab, it'll give you a bunch of different ones where you could have swapped 2 picks at the position.
Mine's drunk.
And see how you did. Yeah,
mine's like you would have got 31 points higher if you swap T. Higgins and Tajay Spears for Jacobs and Demario Douglas, but that would throw Tracy into my lineup. And there's no way.
Mine says I would have been 45 points higher if I had taken Michael Pittman at the 9-1. The thing that it doesn't consider is that at the 9-1, I took Bill Krosky-Merritt, and I wouldn't have gotten to see that stupid look on Jake's face when I took him.
Well,
so,
this
maybe
is a
45
really good
points that would have pushed me to second, but I wouldn't have gotten that look from Jake. So.
It's a really good example, Bogman, of why real-time ADP is a valuable feature at Fantasy Pros, because Bill would not have gotten to your next pick even if the rankings haven't quite caught up to that yet. Real-time ADP would show that he is flying up draft boards, and that was a necessary pick for you. So, again, just to shout out that as a tool that I think everybody should go check out. I know Welsh mentioned it earlier. Welsh, any kind of other thoughts, just like wrapping up your draft and stuff that maybe you wish you had done differently, or stuff that you liked about trying out anything new on this mock?
Yeah, like I said, I think I'm getting dinged a little bit by like some things not being up, like Ricky Pearsall is a 3. Like, listen, here's my starters. Jaden Daniels with Devon Achane, Breece Hall. My wide receivers are Puka, Jalen Waddle, Ricky Pearsall, Chris Godwin as a flex, or Jordan Mason, Tucker Kraft as my tight end. I got a strong bench. I think this is a strong team. I like it. I think I'm getting dinged a little bit. But, like, I was having some regrets of, like, the Breece Hall thing. Maybe I do take a Kyron Williams. I have a better touchdown equity that's in there. Maybe that. Also, maybe flipping the first round where I had taken I'd maybe taken Genty and then come back down and gotten one of those wide receivers I mentioned before. The Genty A.J. Brown build could have been interesting and might have altered a little bit what I've done. But I do feel that, like, I like what I did with wide receiver later on and the upside of Godwin, but I just think there are some things that are not being accounted for. And then as far as my insights, by the way, Stephen Thomason, all my loves were solid. They were all A's. I did not get a single F, by the way, even though I was second to last. So all the dislikes were in the D department, and every single one of them revolved around Devon Achane. So there's people that did not like Devon Achane, maybe due to the injury that put me down. But yeah, it gave me a C. I think this is like a B-. So I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, I love my team. But it's like, I like it better than I got graded for. I think this is a middle of the pack team with a little bit of risk. So yeah, there's a couple situations I think I could have altered. But again, I've been really at the top half of drafts a lot, and that's why I want. And these experiments are so great because I can really start to play around with a few of my big drafts coming up if I do end up getting like a wheel spot and what would have been better. And I think I've already laid out like a scenario or two based off of what I did that could have altered like the path of my draft, and just like if I wasn't getting sniped so much. Like, good Lord. Like, no tight ends. You're taking 7 of them. You're getting all the quarterbacks going before me. It was just like, sometimes you can't even prepare, and that's why mocking is so great.
I did get multiple Fs, so we're not going to give those people the dignity of me reading their names. Quickly, just my kind of final thought, and then I'll toss it to Bogman and Jake for their final thoughts, and we'll get out of here. I really like the running backs in the 3-4 range. I should have trusted that in this, and I'm glad I tried it out. I wanted to see what it was like getting that running back early, like I said, but I think if I'm picking late in a real draft, I will stick with what I wanted to and double up at receiver because, I mean, look at this group of 5 running backs that went at the end of the 3rd, early 4th. Breece Hall, Marion Hampton, Kyron Williams, James Cook, Travion Henderson. Sometimes Kenneth Walker falls there too. He didn't in this one. I will be so thrilled to take any of those pair of players if I'm pairing them up with an elite couple of receivers as well. So picking late, I think just stick with the receiver build, and I would be much, much happier than the way this one panned out. Bogman, what are your kind of final thoughts? Any takeaways from your team before we get out of here?
Yeah, I really like the way that this team played out for me here. Even drafting next to a shark like Jake, I feel pretty nice about the build. You know, my running backs are solid. JT, Chuba Hubbard, Caleb Johnson, Bill Krosky-Merritt, Nick Chubb as my 5th, who, this Joe Mixon thing looks like it's going to linger into the season. I got 2 strong quarterbacks in Caleb and McCarthy. Lots of upside there. My wide receivers are Chase, McMillan, Myers, Keon Coleman, Wandale, Malik Washington. I mixed a little floor with a little risk there, and Trey McBride as the number 2 tight end in fantasy. I really like the way this team fell to me, and this is a similar build to what I will do going into the regular season.
Jake, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't take a quarterback in round 12 with Joshua Palmer just because I wanted to push and make a point there just to see how it worked out. Normally, I would. If that was the last 3 rounds, if he was 14 and not 16, it'd be a different story, but this was 14, and I probably would have normally not taken Palmer, and then my last 3 picks would have been, because I didn't have a tight end yet, I would have double-tapped quarterback. I would have went like what Boggs did. Williams, McCarthy, even Stroud as a bounce back. Trevor Lawrence, if he finally breaks out, love to stay healthy and bounce back. I would have double tapped the upside guys that could get top 10. I'm just never going to take like a Justin Herbert and be like, cool, I got quarterback 15. Yay. Like, I don't want quarterback 15. So that's the only thing I would do differently. But I wanted the point still being, I still waited to the very, 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 very end and got CJ Stroud, who could bounce back and be inside the top 10. It would have to all be with his arm. But the big side about it is that if you look at it with Bijan and Jacobs, and then Hill, Metcalf, Ridley, my flex is a Dunze, Tracy, Debo, J.K. Dobbins, or Demario Douglas. Like, I'm glorious riches. Yeah.
The final round quarterbacks that went: Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud. That's pretty remarkable. Now we only did 14 rounds, but that's
and that won't be everybody's typical draft, which is why I bring it up too. Know who you're drafting against. I know that quarterbacks are going to continue to fall in a draft like this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you got to get out of here, so we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks to our listeners for participating in the mock. Shouts to Bunting, who, of course, is a regular on Discord, for really dominating this draft. He did a great job. By the way, just to read his draft that did so well, some of these early picks: CeeDee Lamb, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker, Terry McLaurin, James Conner, Jerry Jeudy. He took Dak Prescott late. He took Javonte Williams, who I like. So really Seattle heavy, really Dallas heavy, and it panned out well for Bunting. So shouts to our guy there, and shouts to all of you for listening. For Bogman and Jake and Welsh, I'm Ryan Wormeli. We'll see you again next time.